Have you ever wondered how God can intervene in the most desperate of situations and use the most unlikely people to accomplish His will? Today we're diving into a biblical tale that's brimming with suspense, courage, and divine intervention. We'll explore the riveting story of Jeremiah, a prophet on the brink of death, and Ebed Melech, a Sudanese man chosen by God to play a crucial role in a divine rescue mission. So, buckle up as we dive into this ancient tale that's about to blow your mind. Our story begins in a time of ancient Sudan, a land embroiled in political turmoil. Picture a society steeped in power struggles and strife, where the voices of prophets like Jeremiah were often stifled by those in authority. Amidst this chaos, Jeremiah stood as a beacon of truth, delivering bold messages of repentance and righteousness, messages that didn't sit well with the powers that be. As a result, Jeremiah found himself in the crosshairs of these influential figures, his life hanging precariously in the balance. This was a world where speaking truth to power was not only risky, it was life-threatening. Yet in the midst of this danger, a seemingly ordinary man was about to play an extraordinary role, an Ethiopian eunuch named Ebed Melech, working within the very palace where plots against Jeremiah were being hatched. It's against this tumultuous backdrop that our hero, Ebed Melech, steps onto the stage. Now imagine this. Ebed Melech, a seemingly ordinary Ethiopian eunuch working in the king's palace, discovers Jeremiah's peril. Ebed Melech, a humble servant, stumbles upon the dire situation that Jeremiah is in. His heart sinks as he realizes that the prophet's life is hanging by a thread. But it's not just the looming shadow of death that stirs him. It's also the injustice, the silencing of a voice that dared to speak truth to power. It's the suppression of a message that was meant to guide people towards righteousness and repentance. But what could he, a mere servant, do in the face of such grave danger? Would his voice even matter? Would his actions make a difference? Well, Ebed Melech was about to show us that courage comes in all shapes and sizes, and sometimes from the most unexpected places. Instead of cowering in fear or turning a blind eye to the situation, he chooses to act. He chooses to step into the light, driven by a profound sense of compassion and faith. He knows the stakes are high, the risks immense. He could lose his position, his safety, even his life. But it's a risk he's willing to take. Why? Because he believes in something greater than himself. He believes in the power of the God that Jeremiah serves. With a heart pounding in his chest, he approaches the king, pleading for Jeremiah's life. His words aren't just pleas for mercy, but bold declarations of faith. He stands firm, refusing to let fear silence him. He stands for righteousness, for justice, for truth, even in the face of danger. And in that moment, Ebed Melech becomes more than just a servant. He becomes a beacon of courage, a testament to the power of faith and an embodiment of compassion. He becomes a hero, not because he wields a sword or commands an army, but because he's willing to stand up for what's right, even when it's hard, even when it's risky. Ebed Melech believes in the power of the God Jeremiah serves, and is ready to risk everything to obey that divine call. Hold on to your seats because here comes the mind-blowing part: God's intervention. Picture this. Jeremiah, the prophet of God, is in a dire situation. His life is hanging by a thread and it seems like there's no way out. But lo and behold, a hero steps forward, ready to risk it all. Ebed Melech, a seemingly ordinary man driven by extraordinary faith. This is where the story takes an unexpected turn. Ebed Melech's faith moves the heart of God and triggers a divine intervention of epic proportions. It's as if the heavens open, and God's mighty hand reaches down to intervene in human affairs. It's a testament to the power of faith, a reminder of God's unwavering commitment to those who trust in Him, and a breathtaking display of divine power and mercy. Driven by his faith, Ebed Melech had taken a stand for righteousness, and God responded. He orchestrated a miraculous rescue mission, saving Jeremiah from the brink of death. It was a divine intervention that echoed through the corridors of the king's palace and the streets of the city, leaving everyone in awe. And here's the twist. It was not just about saving Jeremiah, it was also about vindicating Ebed Melech's faith. God saw Ebed Melech's courage, his unwavering belief, and his willingness to risk it all, and he responded. It was a divine confirmation that when you stand up for righteousness, even when it's risky, even when it's hard, God is there. He's there to back you up, to protect you, to deliver you from harm. This divine intervention wasn't just a miracle, it was a powerful message. A message that resonates just as much today as it did thousands of years ago. A message that when we stand up for what's right, when we show courage in the face of adversity, when we put our trust in God, He steps in, He intervenes, He saves. the narrative takes a twist, revealing that when we stand up for righteousness, even in the face of danger, God is there, faithful to deliver us from harm. Now let's unpack the lessons we can glean from this ancient thriller. The story of Ebed Melech and Jeremiah is not just a tale of suspense and divine intervention, it's a narrative rich with timeless truths that we can apply to our lives today. Firstly, we learn about the power of courage. Ebed Melech, an ordinary man in the king's court, stepped up in the face of danger to save a life. His bravery was not rooted in physical strength or political influence, but in his conviction to do what was right. In our lives, we may not face situations as dire as Jeremiah's, but we do encounter moments where we must choose between what is easy and what is right. Ebed Melech's story encourages us to take the path of courage even when it's tough. Secondly, we see a profound display of compassion. Ebed Melech was deeply moved by Jeremiah's plight. His compassion propelled him to take action. In a world often marked by indifference, Ebed Melech's compassion is a reminder that we should care for the well-being of others. Compassion isn't passive, it's active, and often requires us to step out of our comfort zones. Lastly, the story underscores the importance of faith. Ebed Melech's faith was not just a belief in the abstract, it was a lived faith, demonstrated in his actions. He believed in the God of Jeremiah, and it was this faith that prompted him to risk his life. In our lives, faith might not always lead to dramatic rescues, but it can inspire us to live boldly, love deeply, and act justly. Each of these lessons, courage, compassion, and faith, is like a thread woven into the fabric of Ebed Melech's story. They are timeless virtues that transcend culture and history, and they can guide us in navigating the complexities of our own lives. So, how can we apply these lessons in our own lives today? Pause the video here and take a moment to reflect. How can you, like Ebed Melech, show courage and compassion in your own life? What situations are you facing that require you to stand up for what's right, even when it's hard? How can you demonstrate faith in the face of adversity, just as Ebed Melech did? These are questions worth pondering. The story of Ebed Melech and Jeremiah is not just a tale from ancient times, it's a narrative that resonates with our present-day experiences. It's about the courage to stand for truth, the compassion to act in the face of injustice, and the faith to believe in divine intervention in our darkest hours. We journeyed into the heart of ancient Sudan, where we met two extraordinary characters. Jeremiah, the prophet whose life was threatened because of his unwavering commitment to the truth, and Ebed Melech, the Sudanese who was willing to risk it all to save a life. Their story is a testament to the power of faith, courage, and compassion. It's a story that challenges us to be brave, to stand for what's right, and to trust in the divine power that moves on behalf of those who are faithful. We've seen how Ebed Melech's courage and faith moved the hand of God, resulting in a miraculous rescue. It's a powerful reminder that when we align ourselves with righteousness, even in the face of great danger, we're not alone. God is there, ready to intervene and deliver us from harm. But the story doesn't end there. Just like Ebed Melech, we're called to take these lessons and apply them in our lives. We're challenged to show courage in the face of adversity, compassion towards those in need, and unwavering faith in God's providence. So how will you respond? What actions will you take? We'd love to hear your thoughts. Share your reflections in the comments below. Let's learn and grow together in this journey of faith. As we close this chapter of our exploration, we hope you've been inspired and challenged. We've journeyed through suspense and courage, through divine intervention and deep lessons. And we trust that this story has left its mark on your heart. We're excited for what's ahead, so stay tuned for more thrilling explorations into the wonders of faith and history. We've got many more stories to unravel, many more lessons to learn. Until next time, stay blessed, wonderful viewers. You're full.